Hi there, so today we're going to talk about coping with heat or trying to cope with heat in your camper van. Now a lot of this will vary depending on if you're on electric hookup, etc., and the stuff you can run. What I'm going to do is start at the front of the van and give you some ideas, hopefully. So starting at the very front, the cab, if you're a van owner, you probably know, but if you're new to it, something to bear in mind, can get very, very, very hot. It's like an oven. So I've just started, it's a little bit small, but I bought it when I was abroad and it was the only one I could find. But it's just a silver screen that folds up very simply, and it's got a little push stud button, so it'll roll up into a tiny, thin piece like this, but it keeps most of the sun off. Ideally I could do with one that fills the screen, but hey ho, that's better than nothing. So that's at the very front. So moving inside, I personally have curtains going across from the cab to the rear part of the which are a very simple setup. So they're just actually fitted on a piece of the stretchy stuff that you fit neck curtains on, and they just draw, so it all fits in good. They're thermal lined blackout curtains, so I have that across to try and keep the heat, and in winter the cold, from the rest of the vehicle, so I keep those closed. Moving across, I keep my main curtains closed to try and keep everything in shade. Curtains are getting a bit faded actually. I'd like to sort out some sort of blinds if anybody's got any good ideas. But simple ones, no dust collectors, just something that drops down. So, oh, got a car. What I've done is I've only got these small sliding windows, so I have those open fully, and you probably won't see, but there's a very, very, very fine mesh. You can just see the edge of it here. It needs tidying up a bit because I did it in a bit of a sort of rush when I was abroad. And what I've done is, again, you probably won't see, but there's a very thin strip of Velcro goes across the bottom here and across the top up there. And I've literally just pushed the mesh onto the Velcro. I bought, this one's a really, really fine one. You can get different ones depending. I hadn't realised at the beginning, so I just got a mesh. One of these that you can put across your windows or your door, and I thought, oh great, which is good, but it won't get the teeny little mozzies out. So the stuff I've got now I bought online, and it keeps the Scottish midges out, so it's really a mega fine mesh, so fine that when you look out you can't really tell you've got a mesh on the window. But it is a bit of a devil when you cut it and it seems to fray, so I need to tidy that up and get it a little bit neater because I'm not very happy with it at the moment. So that's what I do on the window front. Then moving across, I have a vent just in the roof of my shower room, but that, when I turn it on, is really loud, so I don't use it. And then I have a skylight here, which I will wind open. I have to be careful if it's windy as well, because if the wind catches that the wrong way, it will literally rip it off. I nearly lost it once. And this also has mesh fitted, but I've also fitted across some more of this fine mesh. Again, that's a little bit messy at the minute, and I just haven't had a chance to tidy that up how I would like it, but I will do. So I have that open as well. That is an electric, but again, it's really noisy. Now, I know you can get the Max Air fans, which apparently are really quiet, so in that case you could have your fan on and you could be either sucking, I'm not sure which is best to do, whether to, I'm just going to shut this window a bit because it's warm today, whether it's best to put it on suck or blow, and which would cool it, you know, for the best really. So that's how I started off. I then had one of these, and that has been an absolute godsend. Hopefully the print's around the right way. It is a 4-inch mini fan, USB, and I've had that on literally all night overnight to keep me cool, plugged in right next to my bed. You need to be careful of what power you've got. I don't know what power that is, but you can check on your on the boxes, etc. I've mentioned before, I've got two 175 mono solar panels on the roof and a 220 gel, amp hour gel battery, and obviously a battery to battery when I'm driving, so that when I'm driving, the battery in the vehicle will, when it's fully charged, will then start charging the leisure battery. So that's the power that I use. This little mini fan was an absolute godsend, so much so that if it had broken, I would have been stuffed. So I am going to get a spare one of those and probably run them both at the same time anyway, because that was a godsend. If possible, if you can park in the shade, it makes a hell of a difference. And sometimes you need to work out when you arrive somewhere, where's the sun rising, setting, and where would be the best for, you know, red hot middle afternoon type thing. You can't always get shade though, so you do need to bear that in mind. You can get, I believe, sort of small portable tube-like or whatever shape-like aircon units, which would be fantastic, but I don't know, I'm not an electrician, I don't really understand much about the power inlet and outlet, I just keep an eye on my battery, but I'm guessing you'd have to be very careful, and you may even need to go onto electric hookup to use that, but it would keep you cool. Something else to bear in mind, well, you're probably thinking, well, why would I want to be in my hot van if it's lovely weather outside? I'll get outside. Sometimes it's too hot to be outside, so you want to sit somewhere in the shade. I don't have an awning on my van, so I will sit with the van door open, unless there's lots of midges around, and then I have to shut the door, and then it can get a little bit warm. The other reason you might need to be in or near your van is if you have pets, and that's a whole nother kettle of fish. So with pets, you often will have to, I don't have pets now, one of my businesses is pet sitting, so I'm pretty up with it, so hopefully this will help a bit. So a lot of people will go into van life, oh, I'm going to get a dog for company. Lovely, fantastic, but for those who haven't got a dog yet and think that'd be a great idea, it's great to give a rescue dog especially a home, but please do bear in mind it's a huge, massive commitment. And as a little example, we're talking about this, should have tied my hair up, it's warm, the hot weather. When it's really warm, when I was over in France and Spain earlier this year, the highest temperature it got to was 36 outside, but roughly 34 to 36 was the hottest. Inside the van it was 39.5 degrees, I think. Now if you've got a dog or a cat or any other pet, you need to bear this in mind, because you need to be able to keep them cool. When you need to go shopping, where are you going to be with them? If you want to go out and sightsee, you know, I see people dragging their dogs around and it's red hot and they're out around markets and stuff, and I'm like, the poor animals, you know, what are they thinking? Really? So for me, if I still had my dog, it would be, right, the day off, right, today's a day, I'm going to chill. I might not be able to do what I wanted to do, but I need to keep my dog, whatever pet you've got, cool. So I would drive around until I found somewhere with shade. Be fantastic if it was near water as well. And I would do everything in my power to keep the dog cool. Provide lots of fresh water. You can also buy gel cool mats for the dogs. Get the fan on the dog. Everything you can think of. Because imagine in that temperature how difficult it is for you to cope. Imagine the dog with that fur coat on. So it is really important, and they can overheat so easily. And you know, when you go in somewhere, please never leave your dog in the van and think I'm only popping in for a couple of things, because the way the temperature can rise in vehicles is horrendously quick, and it's so distressing to think of it. So just bear that in mind. I'm lucky that the chap who built this van insulated it really well. So when it was 36 outside, I'm sure if it wasn't so well insulated, it would have gone up into the 40s in the van. So in the hot weather, I think it's helping to keep it a bit cool. And in the cold weather, it obviously helps to keep it a bit hot, or a bit warm, should I say. Also, if you've got any jobs to do, such as your laundry or changing the beds or anything, any chores you need to do, topping your water, emptying your toilet, my tip would be do that early in the morning before it gets warm. Do it all, because the last thing you want to do is be going to such as a laundrette, sat there sweating, and then getting back in your red hot van and trying to get the sheets on the bed. So you could do it late evening, but I find early morning is always cooler, so I get all my chores done then. And obviously research the area you're going to, see what the general weather is on average. You can't, you know, it can't be guaranteed, because we all have freak weather. Apparently when I went to Brittany, etc., it was way warmer than it normally is. But it's just a thought, really. So, you know, that's the best I can sort of offer from my experience. Just bear it all in mind. As I say, for me, the game changers, that mini fan, it's massively helped. But yeah, so good luck with it.